As I was telling you, if you don't put the bar high, you will never jump high. And that's why His Excellency Abiy Ahmed is doing. Thank you so much for your leadership. And to get this started, the youth, myself, I planted the tree when I was 6 years old with my grandfather. So do the math, I'm 54 now. So I think that is when you plant the seed, everybody move forward, and it's fantastic to move. So without further ado, I would love to invite His Excellency Dr. Fitsum Aseefa, Minister of Planning and Development of the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia, to deliver her welcome remarks. My sister, you're welcome. She's a woman who's walking the talk, who's professional, who's content-driven, who's making her decision-making with data. The floor is yours. Over to you, Your Excellency.
Thank you, my dear sister. Your Excellency 𝐂𝐤𝐥𝐤, President of the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia, Your Excellency Mohammed Ali Yusuf, Chairperson of the African Union Commission, Your Excellency Noura, Deputy Executive Secretary of the United Nations Climate Change Secretariat, Excellency Ministers, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed, a very good morning to you all. The climate emergency is no longer a distant threat. It is here, shaping lives and livelihoods, testing the resilience of our economies, and defining the choices of our generations. On behalf of the government of Ethiopia and people of Ethiopia, it is my great honor to welcome you to Addis Ababa, the capital of Africa, for the opening of the UNFCCC Climate Week 2. We are deeply honored to host back-to-back this Climate Week and the Second Africa Climate Summit. Your presence reflects not only Ethiopia's commitment to advancing the global climate agenda, but also Addis Ababa's growing role as a hub for dialogue, partnership, and action on humanity's most urgent challenge. Excellency, distinguished delegates, Addis Ababa is already the home of the African Union under the able leadership of the African Union Commission chaired by His Excellency Mohammed Ali Yusuf. Here, Africa's priorities are defined each year, and its collective voices is amplified globally. The city also hosts the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa and more than 140 embassies. Few cities better represent African voices on the world stage. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, by gathering here for Climate Week, a global platform for parties and non-party stakeholders, we reaffirm Addis Ababa's role as a hub of the Global South, a place where ideas are exchanged, partnerships forged, and practical solutions launched. This Climate Week is not just an event. It is a bridge between negotiation and implementation. It is where ambition meets action, where commitments are translated into real solutions that reach communities, restore ecosystems, and advance sustainable development. The Climate Week provides an inclusive platform for governments, civil society, the private sector, academia, and local communities. In close coordination with the African Climate Summit, it offers us a unique opportunity to design, scale, and accelerate climate solutions. By hosting this gathering, Addis Ababa aspires to be remembered as a landmark of a new age of implementation where results on the ground shape global progress. Excellency, distinguished delegates, Ethiopia's own journey reflects this spirit. Guided by the 10 years development plan and the homegrown economic reform agenda, we have aligned our national policies with our nationally determined contributions and long-term, low-emission development strategy. Our vision and ambition are being translated into tangible climate actions through transformative initiatives such as the Green Legacy Initiative, the expansion of clean energy projects, and the transition of our cities and communities toward this sustainable and inclusive development, as well as our food system transformation journey. Excellency, distinguished guests, let this Climate Week be bold, practical, and impactful. Let it strengthen our collective resolve as we journey together toward this African Climate Summit 2 and COP30 in Belem. And let us keep a clear focus on turning commitments into action and ambition into tangible results on the ground. On behalf of the government and people of Ethiopia, I thank you for choosing Addis Ababa to host this important global gathering. We look forward to welcoming you again for many more international events of this scale. With these words, it is now my distinct honor and privilege to invite His Excellency 𝐂𝐤𝐥𝐤 𝐶𝐶, President of the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia, to officially declare open the UNFCCC Climate Week here in Addis Ababa. Please join me in warmly welcoming His Excellency.
Please be seated. Thank you very much, Dr. Fitsum. Well, from this podium, I can see you clear. Whoever put in this much appreciation. Excellency Mohammed Ali Yusuf, Chairperson of the African Union Commission, Honorable Minister Dr. Fitsum Aseefa, Minister of Planning and Development, Excellencies Ministers, Deputy Executive Secretary, Madam Noor Hamlaji of the UNFCCC, distinguished delegates and ladies and gentlemen. Let me also share the moment where we saw a very splendid performance by the young students from the Cambridge School Choir, and I ask your indulgence to give them a round of applause once again. It is my great pleasure to welcome you to Addis Ababa for this high-level conference on the second United Nations Climate Week of 2025. The theme of this panel, Turning Ambition into Action, gives us a moment of introspection and an awakening to the world we want to see. Our world is increasingly facing extreme weather incidents. These climate incidents destroy lives and disrupt livelihoods, damage critical infrastructures, and push millions into poverty. 10 years after the Paris Agreement, the verdict is clear. We are off track. The first global stocktake confirms this grim reality. The gravity of the challenge before us demands bold and transformative action to uphold the promise of the Paris Agreement and secure a just and sustainable future for all. Excellencies, Africa's share of global climate impact is almost negligible, whereas we bear a disproportionate share of its gruesome impact. In this enduring African reality, 2 points are crucial. First, climate action must drive development create jobs, improve food security, and ensure universal energy access. Africa, the continent that has yet to fully utilize its natural resource for the benefits of its people, holds strong ambition and renewed aspiration for development. Africa should not, therefore, face an impossible choice between development and climate action. With the right support, such as climate resilient development support, its aspiration can fortify climate action. Second, Africa shall drive global climate action in the years ahead. At the home of critical minerals, essential for clean technology, the continent has an immense capacity to contribute. However, we face a risk of repeating history where undue competition for geo-economic interests and unlawful extraction of resources have resurfaced to the detriment of Africa's quest for meaningful progress and development. It is critical that advocacy for climate action also address this comprehensive economic and justice issue. In this spirit, Ethiopia, in partnership with the African Union, will soon host the second African Climate Summit here in Addis Ababa. This summit will be a departure from the past, as it will champion African grade minerals, integrated electricity market, food system transformation, and the leadership of women and youth. I warmly invite you to join us in shaping Africa's next chapter of climate leadership and witness firsthand the imagination and ingenuity and skill of our continent brings to the world. Ladies and gentlemen, though the challenge of climate change is global in scale, the solutions can find its most profound meaning when it is rooted in each country's national actions and commitments. In this regard, governments are taking bold measures to confront climate change in their respective countries. With your indulgence, and you have seen it earlier on the video, let me briefly highlight the steps Ethiopia has been taking in the fight against climate change. In 2019, Ethiopia launched the Green Legacy Initiative, a vital and crucial national program addressing deforestation, land degradation, and food insecurity. This year alone, we planted 7.5 billion seedlings, bringing our cumulative total to 7.5 billion trees, where we are also aspiring to reach 54 billion trees by next year. This grassroots-based movement is restoring landscapes, improving water cycles, boosting food security, creating jobs, and renewing hope, particularly to the rural community. We are also transforming our food system with our Climate Smart Wheat initiative. This project transformed Ethiopia from net importer of wheat to a wheat self-sufficient, and this indeed assisted in cultivating a more resilient food system. With adequate support, Ethiopia's model can be replicated across our continent and beyond. Furthermore, we are preparing to inaugurate the Great Ethiopian Renaissance Dam soon by heavily investing our own domestic resources. Despite all the challenges in hydroelectric power, we are demonstrating our commitment to clean energy as part of our national determined contributions. The GERD will generate over 5,000 megawatts of renewable electricity, enough to power homes, schools, and industries. This brings us closer to address energy poverty in Ethiopia and across East Africa and beyond, for that matter. I guess, ladies and gentlemen, on your way to this convention, you may have noticed our efforts to make our cities livable and sustainable. What you see in the streets and the corridors was not there probably a year and a half ago. This happened in a very short period of time. It's all about leadership and commitment to a green economy development. It is in this spirit that Ethiopia is developing vibrant and efficient urban areas through its green, inclusive, and smart city corridor development programs. Ladies and gentlemen, while we champion homegrown solutions, we must confront the deep-rooted challenges that impede climate action. The most significant obstacle is the lack of predictable and accessible climate finance. It is vital that pledge should be supported by tangible commitments and provision of funds. Many countries across the globe are struggling with unsustainable debt and an outdated and unfair global financial architecture. It has become impossible to build climate resilience while being overwhelmed by debt. The agenda for cooperation on climate finance demands a major rescue strategy and probably a bold measure. The availability and adequacy of funds have been deeply problematic for countries of the global south. We shall therefore support the Baku to blame Brazil roadmap to mobilize $1.3 trillion annually by 2030. This is an investment in our planet future. Simplified access is crucial, and I call upon all actors to remove the bureaucratic hurdles that hinder progress to climate financing. Excellencies and ladies and gentlemen, this second Climate Week, alongside the upcoming African Climate Summit, stand as a pivotal milestone informing subsequent climate summit, including the COP30 in Brazil. Your deliberation here in Addis Ababa will greatly help address the critical issues and garner the recognition and support it deserves. Let this be the moment we move from dialogue to delivery and from ambition to implementation. I wish you a pleasant stay in Addis Ababa and hope you enjoy the renewed spirit of our city and the warm hospitality of our people. With that, I'm confident that you'll support my country's wish to hope the COP32 in 2027. As you have witnessed, thank you. As you have witnessed, we have the support from you. We have the capacity, the facilities, the location, the connectivity to host the much anticipated climate summit to be held for the 6th time in Africa. With that, I thank you. Muchas gracias, obrigado, merci beaucoup, and shukran jazilan. Thank you.